hanging in there. Today I have for you a foam roller workout. I know you're going to be so delighted. So if you have a foam roller at home, you're all set. If you don't have a foam roller, you can do the same workout with us. It won't certainly be as challenging, but I want you to think about kind of what the intention of using or the intent of using the foam roller is, which is that it takes the size of your mat basically and reduces it to the width of the foam roller, which is for our purposes I think about 6 inches. And it's also a much less stable surface, so that when you're on the foam roller, you really have to work on working the back part of your powerhouse. So the powerhouse has 2 parts, right? The front, the abs and the core in your front, but we also have that back part, which is our stabilizing side, which is our shoulder girdle and all of those muscles down the back of our waistline, the back of our pelvis. So when you're on the foam roller, you are in a position where you really get a lot of feedback as to how well you are keeping that secondary part of your powerhouse, the back part of your powerhouse, engaged. I will tell you it's not a stable surface, so please be careful. My suggestion is I don't think that there would be any circumstance in which you would be elevated, but I would do this on the floor. That way, if you happen to roll off of the foam roller one way or the other, you don't have a long way to go. And my Pilates Method Alliance liability insurance tells me that I have to say to you, if you fall off, it's not my fault. So anyway, you're not gonna fall off. You guys are such great students. Anyway, so let's get moving. We're gonna be on the mat for the bulk of our workout. At the very end, I'm gonna take the foam roller and we're gonna take that roller and we're gonna put it on the wall. So if you can start yourself, identify a flat wall where has enough room for you to be working on it. Or you can stop me in the middle and come back once you're on the wall. And if you have a magic circle, I might draw that in at the very end. Not necessary, we can do all of this without the roller or without the magic circle, so bring what you have. Okay, so to start out, you're gonna take your foam roller, you're gonna place it onto the mat, and then you're going to sit yourself. Now this is fun to watch, right? So we're gonna be doing it together. You're gonna sit yourself all the way forward on the end of the foam roller. In fact, if you can almost get your tailbone to lay kind of near the end of it, it gives you some really great feedback on that neutral pelvis. Then you're just gonna carefully lay yourself back down onto the roller. And then once you're here, you're just gonna double check that both of your shoulder blades, that the roller feels centered right on your spine, that both of your shoulder blades are drawing into the roller. And I want you to feel like you could recreate, you know how you have that triangle in the back of your pelvis, where your sacrum is? I want you to feel like that whole triangle is centered onto the roller. And what that does, especially if you're hanging off the end of the roller, is it gives you the feeling of that neutral pelvis. Your feet are going to be about your external hip distance apart, and your hands are going to be pushing flat into the mat to widen that collarbone. And I'm going to scoot up just a little bit so you guys can get, so I can be in your frame here. There you go, so you can see all of me. Sorry, I don't have a director or a producer. Okay, so from here we're going to start with some very fundamental mat exercises that when you put them on the foam roller, they suddenly become a little bit, if not significantly, more challenging. So we're going to start with some toe taps. So you're going to put all of the weight into your left foot and press the palms of both of your hands equally into the mat to feel the width of your collarbone and the hug of your shoulder blades onto the foam roller. Make sure you have a nice long neck. You're going to draw your right knee into tabletop, keeping all of the weight into your left foot. You're going to keep your leg in that tabletop position. You're going to keep the roller as firm as you can and as stable as you can as you drop that toe down to the mat. You use your abs to pull it right back up, keeping that knee just about in line with your shoulder. And you have 3 to go. We're going to do 5 here. Feel how you have to work the left foot, the stabilizing foot, even while you're working the right. So you really have two things going on here. This is our last drop down, our last pull up, then put that foot all the way down to the mat with control. Put the weight into all 4 corners of that foot. Make sure that both of your arms are still connected to the mat. And then you're going to use your abs to draw your left knee into tabletop. Make sure you feel stable, and then you're going to drop that leg down, 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 and pull it up, up, up. You may find like me, so I have scoliosis, so I always struggle with kind of the stabilizing of my right side. This is really excellent at helping me to kind of lengthen that right side, which wants to shorten up because of my scoliosis. But the foam roller really makes you honest and lets you kind of come into terms with which side of your body is maybe a little less stable, a little less strong than the opposite. So that was 5 in each direction. Moving from here into a little connection with our shoulder girdle. So I want you to hold onto that neutral pelvis, so you're pushing your tailbone down to feel that, to honor that natural curve here, hoping that both your hips and your pubic bone are all on that kind of that same plane. And you're going to keep the hug of your shoulder blades onto the mat even while you draw your hands forward. So your hands are reaching in one direction, your fingers are reaching in one direction, your shoulders are reaching in the opposite direction, your abs are in and up. And we're going to start with some 5 circles about the size of a salad plate, around and up. And I want you to feel the connection of your shoulder blades into that mat, to that roller. And here's 4, I think, and here's 5, still can't count. And here's 5 in the opposite direction, and here's 4, and here's 3, and here's 2, and here's 1. Great job. Go ahead and reach your hands all the way back down to the mat with nice firm arms, and place your hands onto the mat, bend your elbows. We're getting ready to do the 100. So again, reconnect your pelvis to the roller, centering it, and then make sure your shoulder blades are hugging. Put the weight into both of your feet, into all 4 corners, and then imagine if you had a little pillow or a ball in between your inner thighs, you would be hugging to keep that tension between your legs. Then float your hands up towards the ceiling like we just did, hugging your shoulder blades onto the mat. The first variation of the 100s, you'll reach your hands forward towards your hips, you'll hug your shoulder blades, and you'll do your pumps from here. The second variation, which would be the less stable position, is you would keep that neutral pelvis and you would reach up over your sternum, your broad line, reach your hands forward, and you would pump from here. In whichever variation you're going to take, here we go. You're going to start pumping your arms. Inhale for 5, and exhale. And inhale. And pull those hands in and up on the exhale. Relax your neck if your head is up. If you need to take a little break in between, put your head back down, keep your arms pumping, and then reach your head back up. It actually is a little destabilizing to do that, so use care when you do that. And inhale here for me. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Your range of motion is going to be a little bit smaller than when we're on the mat. So don't be afraid to take the work a little bit smaller. 2 inches up and 2 inches down, but do work the intensity and the strength of your arms for me. And inhale. And exhale. Let's just do one more. Inhale. And exhale. Pause your pumps. Place your head back down onto the roller. If it's up, place your hands back down onto the roller. Hug your whole arm into the mat, and then lengthen your neck for me. So let's go from here into your one-leg circles. So your range of motion on your one-leg circles is going to be much smaller because it's a very unstable kind of exercise right now. So you're going to put all the weight into your left foot, and then you're going to keep your pelvis level while you pull your right knee into tabletop, and then you're going to straighten that leg right up to the ceiling. Feel against the reach of your of your toe, you're pulling your hip down. The same way that when you reach your arms to the ceiling, your fingers reach in one direction and your shoulders reach in the other. Your range of motion, again, nice and small, 4 in each direction, like you're painting on the ceiling. Feel how much you have to work your right waistline to keep yourself connected to the roller, and also how much you have to work your left leg to keep your pelvis stable. Let's work the opposite direction, around and up. And if you feel like you're stable, you can maybe work a little bit wider circle, around and up. Use your abs to pull that leg up. Then put that knee in the tabletop, drop that foot down onto the mat, put the weight into all four corners. Make sure that your arms are still connected to the mat. Draw your left knee into tabletop. Straighten the leg. Straighten it in such a way that you feel it stretch. You can externally rotate this leg just a little bit to open up the hip. And here we go. Here's 5. And here's 4. And here's that opportunity for me with my scoliosis. I definitely feel a difference here. You guys might feel a difference from one side to the next as well. I really have to work the stability of my right side. Let's go the opposite direction. Around and up. And around and up. And here's 3 to go. And here's 2. And here's 1. Bend that knee, put that foot down onto the mat, and then just allow your shoulders and your back and your neck to relax a little bit. We're preparing for your ab series. And you may notice that I'm not looking at you. It's because when we're in this kind of vulnerable position, it's not always great to turn your head left to right. So just, I hope you can hear me okay. All right, so going into your ab series, preparing for single leg stretch. Here are your variations. The first variation, the most stable variation, your arms will be connected to the mat. You're going to draw your right knee into tabletop. You'll drop that knee down, and you'll switch to the opposite leg, and you'll switch that leg down. Here is the second variation. You'll draw both legs into tabletop. You'll keep the one leg in tabletop while you drop one leg down, and then you'll drop the other leg down. Here is the third variation, which is the closest to your single leg stretch. You'll keep your knees in tabletop. You'll lift your head, neck, and shoulders off the mat. You'll pull your right knee in, and you'll press your left knee in. Whichever variation you're going to take, here we go. We're going to do 10 in total. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Pull your knees in if your knees are lifted. Put your feet down to the mat with control. Lower your head down to the roller with control. Moving on to double leg stretch. So for a double leg stretch, here are your variations. You'll bring your knees one at a time into tabletop. You'll hug your inner thighs together. You're really going to work the hug of your arms. You'll drop your legs down towards the floor. You'll pull them up. They don't have to touch the floor. I want you to go as low as you can without having to arch your back. The second variation is the same thing with your head lifted. The third variation is knees fully in, legs press away. In either case, we'll do 5 of whatever variation you choose. So going from here, I'm going to lift my head, neck, and shoulders. Here we go. Here's 1. Use your abs to pull in. And here's 2. And we're just taking this in a nice controlled rhythm. And here's 3. And here's 4. And here's 5. Pull your knees into tabletop. Lower your head, lower your legs down to the mat with control. Moving on to scissors. Here are your variations. You're going to take your right knee into tabletop, extend it up to the ceiling, keeping your left foot down, and you're going to pulse that leg towards you with a nice long leg for once and twice. You'll put that foot down, and you'll extend the opposite leg, pulse once and twice. Just the switching of the legs will challenge your stability. I want you to use your abs to pull the leg in towards you. The next variation, you'll bring your legs into tabletop with head down or head up. You'll straighten your legs, with head down. You'll bring your right leg in, you'll pulse once, twice, and then you'll switch opposite. See how small my range of motion is. This is quite challenging. The third variation, your head will be lifted, you'll open your heart, and you'll do the same thing. So whichever variation you're going to take, we're going to go from here. 5 per leg, 10 in total. Here we go. Legs are up, and we go pulse, pulse 1, pulse, pulse 2. Pulse, pulse 3, abs pulling in, pulse, pulse 4, heart is wide, pulse, pulse 5, pulse, pulse 6, pulse, pulse 7, pulse, pulse 8, pulse, pulse 9, and last one, 10. Bend your knees. If your feet are up, put your feet down onto the mat. Preparing for lower lift. So if you are a person who typically puts your hand underneath your pelvis to stabilize your pelvis for lower lift, you can roll off the roller right now and do your lower lift as you normally would do. You could also stay on the roller, and we'll open our knees into a diamond shape position. We'll keep the range of motion very small. So I'll show you those 2 variations. So you're going to bring your knees into tabletop. You're going to extend your legs towards the ceiling, but open your knees nice and wide. And your range of motion will be teeny tiny. You'll lower down 3, 2, 1, pull up and 1. The full expression of the exercise, the next variation of the exercise, my bad, I'm sorry guys, lift your head, neck, and shoulders and do the same thing. And the third and final variation is with those legs extended long. So decide which variation feels most comfortable for you today. Stabilize the roller. When you're ready, I'm going to lift my head. My legs are going to go up. We're going to do 5 in total. Lower, 2, 3, and lift up. Lower, 2, 3, and lift up. Lower, 2, 3, and lift up. Here's 4, 2, 3, and lift up. And here's 5, 2, 3, and lift up. Bend your knees, put your feet down onto the mat, lower your head. Make sure you're not getting too grippy in your neck because this can really get into your neck. So that was 5 in one rhythm. Now we're going to do 5 in the opposite rhythm. So doing the same variation, or if you feel like you can move up in level to the next variation, go ahead and try it. We're going to bring our knees into tabletop if that's where you're going. My legs are going up, my head is going up. Now we're going to lower down in 1, and I'm going to lift up, 2, 3. We have 4 to go. Keep reaching longer out of your pelvis as the legs come up. Lower, lift up, 2, 3. Keep both sides of your pelvis nice and heavy. 2 more, up, 2, 3. Last one, up, 2, 3. Bend your knees, put your feet down, put your head down. Moving finally into crisscross. So this exercise, by necessity, because of the roller, you have to do this exercise with your head up. So if you're not a person who puts your head up in your ab series or in this exercise, we're not going to do this exercise. You'll just skip it. Go ahead and move right back on into single leg stretches, 1 at a time for 5. If you're doing the crisscross, you're going to take your hands, place them carefully, keeping your stability behind your neck. Make sure your feet, the wider your feet are, the more stable you'll be. I want you to think about keeping your hips square and rotating around your rib cage. I have news for you. If you go off the square of your hips, you're going to get a little roll in that roller, so it's going to give you really great feedback. So from here, we're going to lift our head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat. Hug or press your lower back down, or your tailbone, onto the mat, to the roller. Twist your rib cage to the right. Stay here for 3 and 2 and 1. Come center. Twist to the left. Stay here for 3 and 2 and 1 and center. In 3, 2, 1 and center. And 3, 2, 1 and center. Here's 3, 2, 1 and center. And 3, 2, 1 and center. Here's 4, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1 and center. Fifth one, 2, 3 and center. Last one, 2, 3. Lower everything back down to the mat. Well done, you guys. Alrighty, so from here we're going to do a little bit of shoulder bridging. So the first variation of the shoulder bridge that I'm going to show you is just what we do when we're on the mat, only our mat is now just the size of our roller. So you're going to press into all 4 corners of both of your feet. Let your collarbone be nice and wide. Let your neck be nice and long. Your head be heavy. You're going to press your lower back down onto the roller, and then you're going to peel your spine up off the roller. And I want you to feel like your heels are kind of pulling in towards your butt, and your hips are lifting up towards the ceiling. And then you're just going to use that roller for a little feedback. You're going to place every piece of your spine back down on that roller, getting the curve of your spine down before your pelvis, and then push the lowest part of your pelvis, your tailbone, down to lift your lower back up off that roller. Let's do that one more time. You press your lower back down, you peel your spine up 1 vertebra at a time. Your knees are reaching in one direction, your abs are pulling in the opposite. You have a nice wide heart here. And then you lay your spine down 1 vertebra at a time. So if this is the variation that you choose to stick with, then you're going to do this 3 more times. The second choice, or the second variation of your shoulder bridging, is a little bit of a hamstring. A little bit, by a little bit I mean a lot, of a hamstring workout. So you're going to move that roller perpendicular, horizontal on the mat, and then you're going to place the arches of your feet onto the roller. And then from here, you're going to press your feet out a little bit further so you're not quite in a 90-degree angle. Let the arches, the top of the arches of your feet hug onto that roller. And then you're going to press into all 4 corners of both of your feet again. Feel like there's little suction cups on that roller, and you're pulling that roller up through the arches of your feet. Press into both of your arms, then peel your spine up 1 vertebra at a time. Now, just this in itself is challenging. You could stay here and hold here, or if you want to get a little bit of acceleration on those, or a little attention on those hamstrings, you're going to press the roller out. You're going to pull it in. You're going to press it out. You're going to pull it in. You have 3 to go. And in, and 2, and in, and 1, and in. You're going to lower your spine down 1 vertebra at a time. So we're going going to do that 2 more times. Move the roller a little bit closer to you again. The tops of your arches of your feet are on the roller. You're going to peel your spine up 1 vertebra at a time. You're going to hold here, or you're going to press out and pull in, and press out and pull in, and 3 more, and 2 more, and 1 more. Then you're going to lay your spine down 1 vertebra at a time. Let your pelvis land and find neutral. Pull the roller in 1 more time for me, and this is the last time. You're going to press your lower back down. You're going to peel your spine up 1 vertebra at a time. Open your heart, press it to all 5 fingers of both of your hands. Press your pelvis, or press your heels out, pull it in, and out, and in, and 3 more. Keep opening your heart, reaching your tailbone towards your heels. Last one, pull it all the way in, stabilize the roller first. Lay the top of your spine down, lay the middle of your spine down, lay the curve of your spine down. Let your pelvis fall into neutral. Press the roller away for me, please. And from here, we're going to stretch those hamstrings just a little bit before we move on. So bring your right knee into tabletop, and I just want you to reach the heel away, stretching through from the back of your tailbone all the way through your heel, and bend your knee. And 2 more times, reach it away and bend it in. And last time, reach it away and bend it in. Then reach it away, just draw that leg in just a little, give it a final stretch. And 2 more times. And 1 more time. Then bend your knee, put that foot down onto the mat, slide it away for me, please. Bring the opposite leg into tabletop, reach the heel away, bend your knee. Press your tailbone down, reach your heel away. And last time, tailbone down, straighten your leg, and then draw the leg in and release. And 2 more times in and release. And 1 more time in and release. Lower that leg all the way down to the mat. We're going to do 1 roll up because we haven't done one yet. And we're going to come up to seated. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders off the mat. Peel your spine all the way up. And once you're here, stack your spine, and we're going to move on to the wall from here. So from here, you're going to grab your roller, and you're going to take your roller over to the wall, and make sure that if you have the opportunity to have a wall right in front of a mirror, that would be really wonderful. And you're going to take that roller with you. I'm going to move my camera. Sorry for that, guys. And you're going to place the roller on the wall right behind you. So you're going to take that roller, put it right to the middle of the wall, and then you're going to line the roller up with your spine. And your feet will be about your external hip distance apart. So this is how we started the class, our session today on the mat, right? And we talk about this. When you're on the mat, gravity helps you put all your bits and pieces in order and in alignment generally. So when we're here, we're going to rely on our own muscles and our own sense of our bodies in space to kind of help us do that. So you want to first of all make sure that that roller feels like it's centered between your shoulder blades and between right in the center of your sacrum, and let the head or the top of your head be centered right into the roller. Then we're going to start here. You can bend your knees a little, and that will help you kind of restore or keep hold of that natural curve you have in your back. So I don't want your backs completely compressed against the roller. Then you're going to float your hands up to shoulder height, and you're going to feel the gentle hug of your shoulder blades onto that roller, just like we did when we were laying down. And we'll do 5 circles in each direction here. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Check in with your abs. Are you still pulling your abs in and up? And 4, and 3. Feel the bottoms of your shoulder blades carving, physically feel them carving into that roller. Finishing on 5, you'll let your arms drop, and you'll let your arms just hang kind of out of your sockets. Then we're going to do basically our version of a standing roll up. So you're going to take your chin to your chest. You're going to pull your abs now into the roller. So I almost want you to feel like you're curling your tailbone a little. You're going to roll your spine off the roller 1 vertebra at a time, keeping your center of your sacrum on the roller. Lift your abs a lot. Let your head be heavy. Let your arms just dangle out of the sockets. And we're going to start with some little lazy arm circles right here. You're going to let circle around and up, lifting your abs,
Check in with your feet while you're doing this, 5 in each direction. Do you have the weight nice and centered on your feet? Do you have any white knuckles? If you do, redistribute the weight so it's evenly distributed. And let's go in 5 in the other direction, around and up. Lazy circles. Keep lifting your abs. Here's 2, and here's 1. Let your hands come to a stillness. Use your abs to lay your spine back up that roller. Feel all the parts of your spine coming into contact with the roller. Hug your shoulder blades into the roller, lift your head. From here, we're going to slide that roller and slide ourselves down the wall. And I want you to bend your knees like you're sitting in a chair, so at about 90 degrees. And then again, feel the shoulder blades connected to the roller. Feel your collarbone nice and wide. And feel your pelvis kind of lengthening its tailbone. Lift your abs in and up. Put the weight into all 4 corners of both of your feet. We'll do our arm circles here only with a little squat to add in. You'll go for 5. You'll go for 4. You'll go for 3. You'll go for 2. You'll go for 1. And then you'll reverse that. 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Then you'll place your hands next to you and back towards the wall. You'll shimmy yourself up the roller. Just slide yourself back onto the wall and onto the roller. If you have your magic circle, go ahead and grab it for me. We'll finish here with a little standing work, little magic circle work. So you're going to align your spine back onto that roller. Your knees can be slightly bent. If you don't have the magic circle, we're going to do another round of your arm circles. If you have the magic circle, you'll reach it right in front of your heart. You're going to hold it with nice long fingers. You're going to feel like you're hugging the back of your arm into your shoulder blade. So now your whole collarbone is nice and wide, and we're going to press into that magic circle for 10 and 9 and 8 and 7. Think not my fingers doing the work, but the back of my body. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. How are your abs? Are they still lifting in and up? How are your feet? Are they tightened up, or is the weight equally distributed through all 4 corners? Bring the magic circle up on the high diagonal. If you do not have a magic circle, you'll do high circles here. And we're going to pulse in for 10 and 9 and 8 and 7, last 6, last 5, 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Bring the magic circle back to the center. Go ahead and just let it hang off of one of your arms. You're going to shimmy yourself back up to a standing position. We're going to lose that roller, tuck it off to the side, and then you can tuck off the magic circle as well. And we'll just finish with a little standing wall, which should be familiar to most of us. So you're going to place your sacrum against the wall. Your feet will be out about 12 inches. You hinge forward for me. Then use your abs to peel yourself back up that wall. Once you're here, double check that you have the weight equally distributed from left to right on all 4 corners of your core. Then bring your hands up to the wall. Feel your abs lifting in and up. Now remember what it was like when you had that roller there. You were gently hugging into that roller. It gave you feedback. Recreate that same feeling for me. Give me circles right here for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And reverse that for me for 5 and 4 and 3, last 2 and 1. Let your hands come to stillness on the wall. Take your chin to your chest. Let your hands now dangle off your shoulder or off of the sockets. Roll your spine down. Lift your abs up. Circle your arms gently in each direction 3 or 4 times. And reverse it. Again, check out your feet. Make sure you're not gripping the floor with your toes. And 2 and 1. Use your abs to peel your spine 1 vertebra at a time, right back up that wall. Open your collarbone at the top. Now do press your hands into the wall. Take one of your feet and slide it back to the wall until it hits the intersection of the floor and the wall. And stand up tall into that leg. Lift that thigh bone into your hip socket. Open your heart for me, please. Feel how open and wide and tall your spine is, and I want you to place your hands back up firmly against the wall. Keep the lift of your spine. Press yourself off the wall. Walk off the wall. Keep all that beautiful lift. Have a great day. Hope this was fun. Let me know what you think. Take care, you guys. I miss you all so much. Bye.